Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, available wherever podcasts can be found. And of course, taped live at the Twitch, twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Quick reminder, tomorrow is when we're taping The Numbers Don't Lie, a.k.a. Going in Raw Math, the show. And we're going to be taking a look at Scott Steiner. It's part of our Friendo Club TV exclusive. $5 on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Also, if you throw us a Twitch sub or if you click join on YouTube and become a YouTube channel member, we do have a new patron. Nick May signed up yesterday. He's going to check out The Numbers Don't Lie. You can vote on what kind of promo between 1 and 10 you think Scott Steiner is, what kind of in-ring ability he had, his look, his legacy, and his kayfabe, how strong he was in the universe of professional wrestling. You can vote on all that stuff right now at patreon.com/Steve Larson. Any interesting insight in the early stages from the survey, Larson?
Yeah, people are apparently they really think highly of Steiner Math, and I think that's reflected in his promo score thus far.
Wow, yeah, really high
another
promo scores, yeah.
Programming note, especially for our $20 and up patrons. New episode of Matt Chat. We're shooting it this week. Special guest Cal Jack. So if you're a $20 and up patron, go to our Patreon. There's a thread there. You can get your question on there. Looking forward to talking to Cal later on this week.
This is the first time the three of us have all been on a show together that it wasn't just us reacting to pay-per-views.
I think so.
I think that's probably the case.
It's history in the making.
It is history in the making. It's always fun to get Cal's insight into the world of professional wrestling, given that he is a professional wrestler himself. Also at the $20, so not only can you ask a question on Matt Chat at the $20 level, you can also get the Friendo Care Package, including the Stephen Larson comic book and a bunch of stickers. It's a great deal. It's only $20, and you get this great Friendo Care Package. You get like an 8x10 signed by us. So there you go. Good stuff. We're going to talk about NXT here in a little bit with a pretty big story beat featuring the NXT Women's Champion and her friend, Dakota Kai. Maybe not anymore.
Well, former friend. Perhaps.
Former friend now because she kicked her in the head. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about our predictions for tonight's AEW's Fight for the Fallen.
Where's that title at? Where's that title at? I want to see it.
I don't even need to get it down because it's staying right where it's at. See right there?
I just see something shiny. I'll have to take
It's where my finger's at. It's right there.
Okay, like I said, I just see something shiny there. Your window here is so small. I just see something shiny.
And there's Stingface right there.
All right.
So we're going to be doing that a little bit later in the show. But first, we've got a little bit of news. What's going on, Larson?
So first, of course, everybody's talking about CM Punk. Bryan Danielson may be going to AEW. And during a recent interview with the New York Post, Tony Khan was asked about, just pretty directly, have you signed CM Punk and Bryan Danielson? And what would it mean for the two of them to go to some place other than WWE, for example, AEW? To which Tony Khan responded, quote, I have no comment on those, but those are good questions, but I can't comment on those. I can't comment on those two guys, but I think there are certainly a lot of exciting rumors right now. See, here's the thing. If he signs them, he can't talk about it, or has signed them. He's not going to say yes, because that ruins the surprise down the line. If he hasn't signed them, I doubt he would outwardly deny it, although I can see a reason for it. I don't know if he would deny it because saying no comment keeps the chatter in the room mill going, which is good for AEW because people are talking about his promotion. So regardless.
You're right on the first part, man. But the second part, number one, they're totally signed, and he's basically confirmed it here.
Yeah,
number two, if they weren't signed, he would be going overboard saying, we had some discussions and it fell through. Nothing happened.
I know, because you don't want to have the expectation that they could show up. Yes, I know.
But I mean, that especially that last line. I think there are certainly a lot of exciting rumors right now. What?
Yeah, I know.
And that weird? It's crazy, right? It's kind of crazy. Yes. Like it seems like it's actually happening.
It does seem that way.
It's so weird, but it's very exciting, and it spells good things for the world of pro wrestling.
On the horizon for the world of professional wrestling. This next story. So Bodyslam.net is reporting that, quote, AEW is extremely concerned about the recent surge in COVID cases possibly disrupting their events for Chicago, New York City, St. Louis, and beyond. Over the last week, discussions have ramped up internally as COVID cases have begun to explode across the country. This has caused AEW to begin conversations about what to do if there is a shutdown, up to and including a potential prolonged return to Daly's Place in Jacksonville. Once again, Cassidy Haynes continues, I was told that right now their biggest concerns are the status of the upcoming shows in Chicago and New York City. Both cities have been proactive in regards to preventative measures as an attempt to stop the recent surge of new cases. I think it was just announced today, Nevada implemented a mask mandate.
Clark County, yeah.
Yeah, which will most certainly, I would imagine, still be in effect about 4 weeks from now when SummerSlam happens.
Have no idea what's going to happen with all that. Obviously, depends on people doing what they should be doing, and that's getting vaccinated.
Yep.
And not complaining about having to deal with mask mandates again if you're not getting vaccinated. I did my part. No, you did your part. We have the ability for this to be done, for this to be completely done with. We have it. We're a very rich country who has an abundance of vaccinations available for people. But I'm glad. I was really glad that Vegas did that. And I think that, or Nevada did that for Clark County, Madison Square Garden is requiring proof of vaccination for the upcoming WWE show. And I think all their shows, for all the shows running in Madison Square Garden. Wouldn't surprise me. It's supposed to be announced, I think, today or tomorrow. Maybe it's tomorrow that the plan right now is for the federal government to require all federal employees to be vaccinated. If you're not gonna, do your part and be vaccinated, you might have to miss out on stuff. That I see that as being more realistic than businesses just closing down. We got a taste of what it's like to have a normal life again. And I don't think people are going to want to regress that much.
Yeah, I don't think people are going to want to regress that much. It's just if things get out of control like they did, earlier this year after the holidays, when stuff got really bad, or when things first started, when the pandemic first, happened, and things were really bad. It all depends on how, the positivity rate. If we're going from, I know here, a matter of a few weeks ago, it was like 8 per 100,000, maybe less than that. I don't remember exactly. And even here, it's gone up quite a bit. In other parts of the nation, which have been harder hit, if the cases per 100,000 are up, well beyond that. I mean, it's going to be a regional thing to a certain extent.
It is, yeah.
Areas of the nation which are getting hit harder, they're probably more stringent with the measures they employ to counter that. Assuming that there's the political willpower to do those things.
Yeah, I mean,
or the political desire to do those things, which in some parts of the nation it seemingly doesn't exist.
Yeah, and I mean the bottom line is, people are either gonna have to make a decision. It's like, do you want to get vaccinated and return back to normal, or are you just gonna keep up with this nonsense? And so I think that all companies who run live shows like this, they're all gonna have to be concerned about this kind of stuff. But you hope that the correct measures will be taken, will be put in place, so that we don't have to revert to the way it was a year ago, which nobody likes. So we have the ability, just go and get it done.
Yep.
So be interesting to see what happens with all that, not just in the world of wrestling, but in the world. Anyways. I guess we should start talking about NXT.
Sure.
Larson.
Sure.
Biggest thing to come out of last night's episode. Of course, these were pre-taped, so I sort of got the spoilers.
Yeah, there's two kind of major developments. Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest thing probably. Well, there's two things that are kind of on par, but Samoa Joe is totally cleared, and he's having a match at Takeover where he's going to win the NXT Championship from Karrion Kross. This week, he approached Regal with a 3-step process.
Yes.
Step number 1, he resigned from NXT management. Step number 2, he was reinstated as NXT superstar.
Yes.
And step number 3, a match has been booked for the upcoming Takeover 36, him versus Karrion Kross for the NXT Championship.
Yes, that is all correct. And also the major development, the thing that's been simmering, brewing for many a month. Dakota Kai finally turned on Raquel Gonzalez. And I'm guessing that will be the women's title match takeover between the two of them. Raquel had a promo pretty much saying, I've cleared the whole division out. If anybody back there has the wherewithal to try to challenge me, step up. Of course, no one comes out. Dakota Kai says, yeah, as long as I have your back, you'll be champion forever. And then as soon as Raquel turns her back, bang, attacks her. Doesn't have her back anymore. Implication being now that she doesn't have her back anymore, Raquel's not going to be champion anymore.
Yeah, I kind of wish that this had happened. I thought it was really well done, but I kind of wish that it had happened at a takeover, not at the CWC. Because I don't know, I go back and I think that they have the opportunity. I've been saying this for months. They have the opportunity to tell their own version of Ciampa versus Gargano. I think that it can be to that level. But if you remember, that started at a takeover in such a huge, magnificent fashion, not at a pre-tape show where spoilers were out. And I do think that the CWC crowd is just a different one than the excitement you'd get from being at a takeover where, you know, the crowd is there. They've paid a bunch of money for a special event. And so they might appreciate it a little bit more than the same crowd who's there every single week.
Well, at least given current circumstances, the crowd that's going to be there at takeover coming up is probably the same crowd that was there for these tapings.
Yeah, right.
So,
yeah.
It's not that much of a difference.
No, I know, but I'm saying like a takeover crowd that's not at the CWC, like at an arena show is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Who knows when that's going to happen again, though?
I don't know. NXT is like, I still think that Vince like sort of thinks, Vince right now considers NXT UK to be his top developmental brand, seemingly, because he's like gutting NXT and he's chumping out their champion, or at least wanted to again this week. No Kross to be found at the CWC.
No.
Larson.
No.
So August, we're 4 weeks away. I guess 3 weeks now. Three more shows away from that. Kross has to show up at the CWC between now and then, right?
I would suspect the thing they had to reshoot is going to air next week.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's going to happen next week, and then you've got 2 more weeks. So we'll see if that crowd simmers it, but the next time, the time after that is going to be live. So they'll have to like rely on the crowd.
Kross isn't going to be in front of the crowd. He's going to be backstage the whole time. Any interaction between him and Joe is going to be backstage.
So that's your prediction on that, is that they're not going to wheel him out in front of the crowd so they can taunt him with Hardy cheats.
You know what? By that time, they might think, all right, Kross, he just beat Keith Lee on Monday. He'll probably get another win on Raw upcoming next week. Maybe they think, all right, 3 weeks passed.
They'll
Kross
chill.
losing to Hardy under 2 minutes. People have moved past it.
If he doesn't get a win over, and I don't even know if the timeline will fit because Hardy probably has to quarantine or whatever.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get a win over Jeff Hardy on Raw before they bring him out in front of a live crowd at the CWC, those chants will happen.
Entirely possible.
If otherwise, yeah. Man, could you imagine if that was the original plan to job him out to Hardy again? Like, they couldn't bring him in front of a CWC crowd. They'd have to do the takeover match would have to be like a cinematic in the parking lot or something.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, it would have to be.
Yeah, kind of a mess.
It is a mess.
But there was some funny stuff. There was some funny stuff with the Grimes and LA Knight on the golf course. I popped when I saw grizzled young vets out there. I thought that was a nice little move. It's cute stuff with these two, and it's leading to a thrown together tag team with Grimes and LA Knight, which I kind of appreciate. I think that'll be fun stuff.
That'll probably last all of about a week before Grimes ends up costing his team the match.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then let's see here. Otherwise, yeah, kind of not a whole hell of a lot happened on. I mean, we saw Bronson Reed got beat by Adam Cole. Saw that coming because they're really building up this Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly thing as being like their sort of away from title A storyline.
Yeah.
Still no Austin Theory with the way, and they're doing
a bummer.
They're doing a weird match next week where if Johnny Gargano beats Dexter Lumis, Indy Hartwell has to stop sort of, thirsting over the dude. Whereas,
yeah, but if Lumis wins, then the Way have to give him a chance.
Yeah, because apparently he wants to be part of the family.
Yeah, because he gave Indy an illustration of himself essentially in Austin Theory's spot.
Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break for a word from the sponsor of today's show, Decked. So I'm sure we've all been in a situation where you get in a friend's truck or your own and notice that it's an absolute mess. Just stuff everywhere in the cab, on the floor, under the seats, and you think to yourself, it'd be great if I could tell this friend of mine something that can help them keep their stuff organized.
Well, Steve, next time you see that friend who's got all that stuff, whether it's in the cab or sitting in the truck bed, just unsecured and exposed to all elements, just rattling around completely unorganized, you can tell them about the Decked Drawer System. See, whether it's work tools, camping gear, or safety items, Decked helps you organize, protect, and secure all your stuff.
Yeah, each of Deck's 2 full bed-length drawers can carry up to 200 pounds of whatever you want to be in them. And the drawers roll out about waist-high, so you get easy access to all your tools and gear. Plus, they're weatherproof, protecting everything from the elements.
Decked also has a full line of storage accessories to help you stay organized. I'm talking toolboxes, tie-downs, and a bunch of other options so you can maximize both your space and your time. On top of that, the Decked Drawer System is 100% made in the USA and backed by a 3-year no-hassle warranty with a second-to-none customer service team ready to answer all your questions.
So get your Decked Drawer System at decked.com/raw and get free shipping. That's decked.com/raw for free shipping on your Decked Drawer System. Decked.com/raw. So, yeah, we'll just dive into it. Opened up with Ciampa and Thatcher versus Pete Dunne, Oney Lorcan. So the finish here is a good match. I mean, these guys can't put together a bad match. Yeah. The finish saw Ciampa putting Dunne in a Fujiwara armbar. Oney Lorcan tries to help, but Thatcher from the outside gets him in an ankle lock instead. But then the returning Ridge Holland nails Thatcher. Lorcan obviously gets that hold broken up. Ciampa takes out Lorcan, but in doing so, Dunne is able to get the bitter end for 3. Afterwards, Holland pounces Thatcher, then headbutts Ciampa with the help of Dunne and Lorcan. So Ridge Holland is back. How long has it been since he's been out? Sorry, I mean,
that'd be close to a year, right?
Has it been a year?
I think.
Jesus, I would have said 6 months at the most, but
like the nature of those injuries,
right?
Brutal.
They were rough. That's why I was like, man, this guy's back already. Holy crap, has it been that long?
9 months.
Oh my gosh, he's had a child since then. Wow. Didn't both of it? Did both of his ankles get busted, or was it just the one?
This is according to Wikipedia. Suffered an ankle dislocation and fracture of his left leg, and a knee dislocation and patella tendon rupture of his right leg. So essentially, he blew out his right kneecap got dislocated in the process, blew out his tendon there, and then he dislocated his ankle.
God damn. So he's aligning now with Dunne and Lorcan.
It's the Pat McAfee faction, but it's without Pat McAfee.
Right. Wait a second though. What was the situation when he broke that thing? Wasn't it Oney Lorcan?
He was part of it was Dunne. It was Lorcan, Birch, and Ridge Holland, right? Isn't that what it was?
No, it was Birch. I thought Oney Lorcan was the guy who took out Ridge Holland. Remember, he did the suicide dive.
Yeah, that's right.
Was it the British guys? Was it Holland, Dunne, and Birch, and then Lorcan? What was that? Somebody in chat will know. Because now I was like, wait a second, isn't Lorcan the guy that took him out? Birch and Lorcan were wrestling him, but Dunne wasn't with them yet. Oh, they brought Dunne in later?
I think they brought Dunne in to essentially replace Ridge Holland. That's what
Who did the dive? I swear it was Oney Lorcan with the dive. Anyways, well,
yes, it was Oney with the dive. Sorry. So Holland was wrestling, I think, Danny Birch.
Okay.
And then Lorcan took him out.
Okay. Holland took out Adam Cole for Pat McAfee.
That's right.
Okay.
And then after Rich Holland got hurt, it was like McAfee was impressed with Burke,
yes,
Birch and
that's
Lorcan
right.
and brought them in, and then Pete Dunne as well. That's what it was.
Right. So now Holland is hooking up with his replacement, Pete Dunne, and the guy who took him out, Oney Lorcan. So we'll see how that all works out. I'm just very nervous whenever I see Ridge Holland do anything with feet or knees now.
Yeah,
because that was ugly.
Was bad.
It was really bad.
That was a really bad injury. After that, we had a Carmelo Hayes video package. He had a match later on against Josh Briggs as part of the breakout tournament. And then Samoa Joe arrives at the CWC. He storms his way into the building, and eventually he hits the ring. Before that, we had a Hit Row promo talking a lot of trash about Legado del Fantasma.
Yeah. A lot of it was in Espanol as well. Didn't catch a lot of this, but they seem to be BFAB especially seems to be pretty fluent in Spanish, as does Top Dollar. And then after that, we had Samoa Joe. He came down. He made an impromptu like craft fair table with a table and a chair, or contract signing table, I guess. And so he sets up his booth there, and he says, Kross, you're too gutless to be in the building, so Mr. Regal, may you join me in the ring, please? Regal does. And Joe says, listen, Regal, I understand your rage. Regal didn't actually say, he said words, but he didn't have a mic. He was like, listen, I understand your rage. What Kross did was wrong, and tonight, I know you're probably going to fire him, but listen to me. I have a better solution, Regal. I have a way to satisfy our needs in these 3 easy steps. Number 1, I give you my resignation from management. I quit. With this paper and your signature. Number 2, you reactivate me as active roster here in NXT. Regal signs it. Joe says, step 3, you make it official. Kross versus Joe for the NXT title at TakeOver 36. Regal signs. He says a bunch of stuff to Joe, but we don't know what it is because he didn't have a mic on him. And there you go. There's your NXT title
match. They shake hands. It wasn't like Regal was seemingly upset about it.
They spat in their hands and they made the deal. They did the deal.
Yep.
Are we doing that? Is that what we're going to be doing in Vegas with the Friendo meetup?
I'm not
be like, hey, Friendo, here.
I'm not spitting my hand.
That's
no way.
Such a bad idea.
After that, we had a Josh Briggs video package, and then we had first, I think, 3 little vignettes of LA Knight and Cameron Grimes out on the golf course. So it starts off with a shot behind Cameron Grimes using the ball cleaner to clean LA Knight's golf balls. However, it's from behind. He's pumping this thing up and down like so.
Yeah.
Put together what it looked like.
Sexual.
Yeah. He says he's been cleaning LA Knight's golf balls for 30 minutes, has him check a ball. Knight says it looks fine. So LA Knight asks for his driver, and Grimes says, well, I'm your driver. What do you need me for? He's like, no, golf club. So he finally finds the driver in his bag, lines up for his shot, and then right before he's about to take his swing, Grimes says, I bet you $1,000 you hit this ball into the tree. He eventually raises it to $5,000.
Yeah. $10,000.
And Knight says, I need to concentrate. He takes his shot. Of course, it goes to the tree, and the Knight blames Cameron Grimes for it, tells him to go get his ball.
LA Knight, I mean, the one thing revealed here is that he's a god-awful golfer. He's not a good golfer at all.
Well, golf's a very hard game.
Yeah, but he's LA Knight. I mean, come on now. Anyways, after this, we had Josh Briggs versus Carmelo Hayes with the wonderful Duke Hudson on commentary doing just a best job. Anyways, this is a fun match. Good stuff. Josh Briggs apparently was the final Evolve champion.
Oh.
Yeah. Briggs hits a nasty boot and a choke slam towards the finish, but only gets 2 for that. Yeah. Carmelo hits a top rope leg drop to the back of Briggs' head for 3 in the win. Wildly fun stuff. And then him and Duke Hudson make eyes at each other. So, yeah, they're
they did reveal the bracket finally, and Duke and Odyssey Jones are on opposite sides. So
They figured out the bracket now that we're already in the semifinals. Yeah.
Yep, so that's going to be the finals. Next, we got a Franky Monet interview from last week. She's talking about what plan she has for the Robert Stone brand. She says, well, I could merge with it and make it more powerful than ever. I could rebuild it from the ground up. He says maybe myself and Jesse can be partners and go after those tag titles. Caden Carter, Casey Catanzaro walks in. Carter says, oh, you think you could walk in and just look for a tag title shot? It's not that easy. It's not how it works. Casey says, we're a unit in and out of the ring. And Carter tells them, get in the back of the line. And Monet says, I used to think their spunk was cute. Now they're just super annoying.
Mm-hmm. After that, we had another Grimes LA Knight golf thing where Grimes... So LA Knight's, he's like, lining up a shot, and Grimes starts doing the golf voiceover guy on golf broadcast.
Commentary, yeah.
LA Knight lining up to his driver to send this one. It's pretty funny stuff. So the LA Knight ends up shanking it into the drink. Grimes laughs super hard about this. It's $10,000. And Knight says, oh, yeah, you like to swim? He's like, yeah, I can swim. He's like, well, go get the ball in the lake. So he goes down to the lake to pull out the ball. DiBiase rolls up. It says, man, guys like LA Knight, they're going to try to hang you out to dry. Why are you doing this? Grimes says, I'm a man of my word, Ted. I figured you want me to do this. And DiBiase says, you know what, man? You weren't born to be a butler. You were born to be a champion. Don't lose your pride. The Grimes I know is a fighter. Think about that.
Yep. We get a quick Ridge Holland interview. He's asked, why did you attack Thatcher? He says, none of your business. It says he's not the first person I've smashed up and won't be the last. And then we have Raquel and Dakota come out for a promo. Raquel says, last week I crushed Xia Li. She has dominated every single person who has stepped up to the plate. Who's next?
Who's next?
And then no one shows up. She says, all I got to say is keep them coming. Dakota Kai gets on the mic, says Raquel debuted 18 months ago and she's been unstoppable. She tells people that her best friend, Raquel, is the most dominant woman in NXT history, more dominant than Charlotte, Asuka, Shayna. Raquel has defeated former champs. She brings up Ember Moon, other names. And everyone put it in front of her path. The list will continue to go on. And she says, you want to know why the NXT Women's Division is the greatest? It's because of one woman. She didn't say who that woman was. She just says because of one woman.
Yep.
She says NXT TakeOver is 4 weeks away. Who was woman enough to challenge Raquel? Which woman knows in their soul that they have what it takes to beat her? And no one comes out.
Yeah.
And Dakota says, there is no one. Says, hey, we've been through so much together. So long as I have your back, you will always be champ. And then Dakota Kai holds up Raquel's arm. Raquel raises the belt. They pose in the ring. Raquel goes and climbs the second turnbuckle, holds the belt up. She gets down, turns around, bang, kick right in the face.
Holy crap. Yeah, that was pretty great. And then she holds up the title herself, and then she leaves. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool moment. I mean, it was telegraphed all to hell. All the way all the stuff she was saying. Surprised Raquel wasn't like, why are you saying these things?
Yeah, no.
I guess Raquel doesn't watch. I guess it's kind of like I don't watch our show. Like if you're making side eyes at me, I might know because I pay attention to the screen that you're on. But it's always off to the side. Like nobody went up to Raquel was like, hey, have you ever noticed whenever anybody talks about title stuff, like Dakota Kai stares at your title a lot?
Yeah.
She's fine. She's fine. I think she said in an interview, I think it was Denise Salcedo. She had an interview with Raquel Gonzalez, and she was asked about this, and she was like, all Dakota Kai has to do is ask.
Yeah.
How apropos. And then, she didn't really ask. She put a boot to her face.
Booted in the face, yes.
Yeah. After that, we had an Adam Cole Bebe promo. He says, everyone is trying to attach their names to me. Kyle screamed my name last week like a madman. Bronson was in an interview. He said, I'd be his rebound. I'm the top of the mountain. I'm no man's rebound. You're going to fall from that mountain, Bronson. You weren't good enough to keep your North American title tonight. Your 14-year journey means nothing because it'll have a sad chapter written by Adam Cole Bebe.
This next bit was pretty great. So Io Shirai's training in the ring. Zoe Stark steps in, says to her, you don't have to train by yourself. We're tag champs. We should be training together to build a relationship. And Io says, like friends? And Zoe goes, yes. And Io says, no thanks.
No thanks.
Zoe says, all right, not friends. A partnership. Let's hang out. Let's get on the same page. And Io just says, I respect you, but I don't like you. And Zoe says, yet. Let's hang out. Come on. Trust me. And Io says, okay, fine.
Why do you think Io Shirai doesn't like Zoe Stark? She seems like a lovely person.
I don't think it's a situation where Io doesn't like Zoe. I think it's Io has problems trusting people. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
I believe that's what Candace said.
All right. Well, she keeps on saying, I don't like you. That's kind of a rude thing to say. Anyways, after that, Mandy Rose apparently found Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, and she's like, there's nobody else to be in a faction with me, so you, jobbers, come over here. I guess we're in a faction now because for some reason they put me back on NXT, and like I can't take naps on commentary table right now because they're doing commentary. It didn't work out for me last week. So what's your name? JC Jane?
Yeah.
Were you? Gigi Dolan? I guess we're a faction now because I have nobody else. Because they gutted NXT's women's division.
They did. Then we got Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro versus Franky, Monet, and Jessie Kamea. This is a pretty quick match. Towards the end, Franky has the advantage. She's hitting Caden Carter with some ground and pound. She takes a moment to talk some trash, celebrate a little bit. And then Robert Stone gets on the apron and like throws his shoe at Franky.
I thought it was his wallet. Wasn't it his wallet?
I thought it was a shoe because later on he only had one shoe on.
Oh, it must have been that. You might be right about that. He was carrying like that little purse wallet thing, and I thought that's what he threw at her. But maybe you're right.
Later, I assumed it was a shoe because he's thrown shoes before.
Yeah, he has totally. Yeah.
And then he's telling Franky to finish.
Yeah.
Finish the match. Use your finish. And Franky says, "What are you doing here? Why are you even out here?"
Yeah.
Turns around, she gets kicked in the head. And then Carter and Casey hit their finish to get the win.
Yeah, God, their finish is so beautiful too. It's so
pretty
great.
Cool. It's a good finish.
They definitely some issues with personnel there in the Franky Monet outfit, whatever they're called. I don't know. She still hasn't decided if she's going to merge with them or.
I'm guessing after this, it's going to be a full rebuild.
It's going to be exactly. After that, we had a Diamond Mine interview. Malcolm Bivens is so great. He's hilarious.
Yeah, he is.
So this is a sit-down interview with Wade Barrett, and Roderick Strong is asked, "Hey, how did you and Bivens, hook up?" And Strong says, all the drama in the Undisputed Era was something I couldn't break through. Bivens called me, reminded me what I am. And Bivens says, Roderick Strong, Roderick Strong is not a number 4. He's not a number 3. He's not a number 2. He's a number 1. He says, who would have thought Bivens could get Strong back to NXT when even Regal couldn't do that. And then they're asked about a potential money matchup with Bobby Fish. And Bivens says, whomever said money can't buy happiness is a liar and probably broke. Strong versus Fish in NXT, that's your big money match. And Strong says, next week, Bob Fish, when I finish you, this is over. So, strong words from Roderick Strong.
Yeah. We get a quick shot at Dakota Kai. She's walking out of the CWC. She's asked by cameraman, can you explain your actions? No comment. She doesn't answer. She just walks on out. Nope.
No.
Then we get Imperium versus Hit Row. Fun match. Legado came out towards the end. You had Raul Mendoza, Joaquin Wilde. And they come out, and then they push Swerve into the ring post. So Top Dollar comes off the apron, runs and trucks through them. He starts walking up the ramp towards Santos. Meanwhile, Imperium back in the ring is hitting their finish on Ashanti for the win. And then Top Dollar goes back in the ring. Legado attacks him. He fends them off. Santos hits him with a missile drop kick off the top. And then eventually Swerve makes the save with the chair. I was kind of thinking that Imperium might lose this because they're really pushing during a commentary that Walter's going to be in NXT soon. And given all the messages that hologram Walter is given to Imperium about getting their act together, like they felt kind of was wondering if they're going to, lay the groundwork for an Imperium breakup.
Yeah, maybe. I
really don't feel like they're been booked as like an actual unit for.
No, they haven't. They have not. They kicked out one of their guys. They have hologram Walter barking orders at them. They lost to Breezango.
Yeah.
On Breezango's way out.
Yeah.
Didn't they have they picked up a win since then, or is this their first win since then? Is this their first match since then?
Might be the first one since then.
I forget. Anyways, so the way is backstage. They're talking about Austin being gone. They're kind of bickering over whose fault it is that Austin's gone. And then one of the production assistants brings Indy a present. And it's a drawing. We mentioned this at the show. It's a drawing that Dexter Lumis made of him having taken Austin Theory's place in the way. And Indy's very happy about it. She's like, wow, this is great. You guys need to give him a chance. And they're like, no. And so Indy suggests a Johnny Gargano versus Dexter Lumis match to give Dexter a chance in the family. And Candace says, okay, fine. You want that? That's fine. But if John wins, Indy has to stop all this Dexter Lumis nonsense. So that's going to happen, I guess, next week.
Next week, yep. Then we have grizzled young veterans. They're waiting on LA Knight to take his shot on the golf course.
This was a welcome surprise.
What the holdup is. And then Knight says, I thought the standards here were higher at this course, but guess not. They let grizzled young veterans in. Gibson tells him to watch his tone. Just hit your ball into the pond again so the MVPs can play through.
The MVPs of the golf course. And so Grimes brings up the bet, and he's like, oh, how about I propose a side putt? The next person to sink the ball in that hole over there doubles that 10,000. Knight says, yeah, we'll take it, even though he's terrible at golf. So Knight, of course, shanks it in the water, and Grimes takes out his golden ball, puts it down, while LA Knight and grizzled young veterans are kind of like, jawing at each other. Mm-hmm. Grimes swings back, whacks LA Knight in the balls, and then after he hits it, he whacks him in the head. He hits the hole in one, turns around, and assumes it was grizzled young veterans that attacked Knight, and so he goes after them. LA Knight's going after them. He throws the driver thank you at them as they drive off in their golf cart. It's pretty funny stuff. So we'll probably get a match between those guys.
I would expect next week, if not the week after. Then we got our main event: Bronson Reed versus Adam Cole. Bebe. Cole escapes a superplex. He's going for a sunset flip powerbomb. Reed blocks that. Cole super kicks Reed's leg. Pretty much works the leg over for the duration of the match. Towards the end, Cole hits the Shining Wizard, gets to 2. Follows with a pump kick, then another one. Tries for a super kick. Reed catches it. So Reed drives Cole back in the corner with a bunch of strikes, and the ref's counting. He's like, hey, don't get DQ'd. So as he's getting to 5, Reed steps back. This allows Cole to kick him in the knee. Follows with the Panama Sunrise that gets him a 2. He's set up for a last shot. Reed hits him with the clothesline. Follows with the power bomb. Goes up top for the splash. Misses. And then Cole hits the super kick. Last shot for the win. O'Reilly comes out, attacks Adam Cole with the chair, shoves the top half of the ring steps off, hits Cole with the brain buster on the bottom half. So I guess now it's Killer Kyle, 100%.
Yeah. So he just needed that one match against.
He needed to lose.
Yeah.
After he won, to realize he just needed to do the things he did when he won, as opposed to not do those things.
Right.
He win again.
But instead of being like, oh, we were friends back then, and I was winning. Now we're still going to not be friends, but I'm going to do the things that I was talking shit to you about.
Yeah, so I left Undisputed Era to save my soul, but I have to sell my soul just to beat you, and thus, in a way, proving you correct, Adam Cole.
Adam Cole should just be like, why didn't you just say you wanted to be a solo guy? You could have done that. We could have avoided this entire thing.
I know.
Anyways. Let's go ahead and answer some questions, why don't we?
No, let's do our predictions first. Let's do predictions.
Oh, that's right, yeah. So we got to... Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. We've got AEW. Fight for the Fallen tonight. This is going to be a good one, man. Look at this lineup here.
It's
boy.
It's a pretty stacked card, man.
This is a stacked card right here. All right. You have Enforcer's picks right there?
I do.
What does Enforcer think about the Santana Ortiz versus FTR match, man? Because this is a head-scratcher to me.
He agrees with me on the winner. We both have FTR. He's got 4 confidence points.
Oh, wow.
I have 1.
Yeah.
It is a toss-up. However, I feel this is in North Carolina, home of FTR. They'll have Tully get involved, to get that old school NWA Mid-Atlantic wrestling type vibe going. FTR gets the win.
So here's the situation with this. On one hand, Fatur put hands on Conan.
Yeah.
Santana Ortiz did not.
You
They
mean Tully?
also
They didn't put hands on Tully. Yes.
on Tully. Yeah.
Yes.
On the other hand, on that same hand, Fatur also came out on top of that 6-man match they had a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do a whole lot of series in AEW, but this is totally going to be a series.
It is.
Tony Khan rewards people in their hometown as opposed to Vince McMahon, and they are 2 hours away from Asheville, where both Fatar is from. So I as much as I wanted to be LAX, it's going to be Fatur. They're going to win this thing. I got one confidence point because some of the math doesn't add up, but they're going to be at Arthur Ashe in New York.
Exactly.
Where
about 2 months, and that's
Proud
when
and
Santana
Powerful
Ortiz will get their win. Yes.
They might do this as like a 3-match thing. Like they might do a street fight at All Out where LAX could pick up that win and then they can win the rubber match as well. They'll go like 2 straight.
Yeah. And maybe make it like a number 1 contender thing. So there's stakes for the third match, you know?
But these are clearly 2 very special teams. You know, there was a report from Fightful that said Tony Khan had been planning this out since like May or whatever. So clearly this is a situation where FTR, they've already had a tag title run. LAX had a tag title shot back in February. And they're not even in the top 5 ranked teams, LAX. So yeah, it's going to be, I got Fatur with 1.
All right. Next, this should be a heck of a bout. No DQ, no rules. No rules in this match.
No law.
Jericho versus Nick Gage. Who do you got, Steve?
Dude, the Painmaker. The guy where he has a fedora, he's got the makeup on, he's got spikes on his jacket, and he's got the Judas effect.
But he doesn't have a pizza cutter.
Well, as you have said in the past many times, pizza cutter's really not even that sharp.
No, it's not. It's not at all. It's not at all. How many confidence points do you have on Jericho?
5.
Wow, okay.
It's only the second labor. He's not going to lose this.
No, he's not going to lose. He's not. I have Jericho. I have 3. It could easily be 5 or 6. But yeah, Jericho's not losing. Enforcer has Jericho, but he's saying Matt Cardona is going to show up and interfere. It's got 1 confidence point on Jericho winning.
1? Wow, Enforcer.
That's what he's got.
All right, I like it.
Next, Christian Cage, Jurassic Express. I believe it's going to be Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus taking on Hardy Family Office members Angelico and Private Party. Enforcer has got Cage and Jurassic Express. 2 confidence points. That's what I got as well. Who do you got, Steve?
There's 2 confidence points on Jurassic Express. I think there's the tiny possibility that this whole thing where Jungle Boy isn't happy with Christian Cage riding around on his dinosaur might blow up, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Not now. They're gonna build to that moment. Next, Thunder Rosa taking on Julia Hart. Who do you have, Steve?
This should be a dark elevation match. Thunder Rosa with 6 confidence points.
We're in all complete agreement on that one. Lance Archer versus Hikuleo. Enforcer has... Oh, shoot. I didn't copy that one over. One moment, please. I have Archer 5. He's totally winning this.
So I have 3 confidence points on Archer. There's just a couple extenuating circumstances. I find it very difficult to believe that Archer is going to lose 1 week after he gets it. But it also, Hikuleo's doing a lot of work on Strong right now. Apparently he's doing very good work on Strong right now.
Yeah.
It also wouldn't shock me if we saw, and I was looking at his social media to try to get try to figure out if he was possibly in town. Wouldn't shock me if we saw Kenta tonight to maybe set up a resurgence match with Archer. Because that's coming up next. That's coming up in a couple weeks.
14th, yeah.
And because Kenta's been using that U.S. Championship briefcase, the attaché case, still, even though he lost he lost his opportunity for that. So, yeah, it wouldn't shock me if we saw Kenta show up in some way, shape, or form. But that's why I only have 3 on Archer, because it's New Japan's title. They can kind of maybe do what they want. But I feel like if that title's going to change hands, it's going to be a resurgence.
Yeah, yeah. And then what I assume would be the main event, Super Elite versus Hangman Page and Dark Order. Who do you have, Steve?
Oh, it's the Dark Order. This is the path towards getting that huge Hangman win it all out.
Yep.
And the Dark Order getting their tag team titles. And you're gonna send the people home super happy.
Yeah.
Super happy. Oh, do you think there's gonna be any is Kenny gonna have any face heat for claiming that for all the, not claiming from that he's from, but all the North Carolina connections?
I don't know.
He should run them down on the mic beforehand.
I know he should.
All this time I've had Justin Roberts use North Carolina in my intro, but now that I'm here, I realize you people suck my butthole. He loves going just one step over with the sexual innuendo.
So you have 4 confidence points on that, correct?
Yep.
Same. And then Enforcer has 5 on Page and Dark Order. So we're in complete agreement with our picks. So barring an upset, nothing's going to change.
You would need Jericho to lose?
Yeah, which isn't happening, obviously. And you would need Archer to lose.
Hey, look, man.
Seems like a stretch.
Look, I didn't think Desperado was going to lose.
Yeah, I didn't think that either.
So anything can happen. Anything can happen, dude. Anything can happen.
You're content to win on a tie. I understand.
No, I'm saying, stranger things have happened. That's why we do confidence points. If the confidence points are a little bit different, then things can change. Anyways.
It's probably not going to happen here, though. Anyways, I want to answer some questions.
You'll have another opportunity. They'll do some branded show in August. You have your chance then.
Jorge D says, so we know the next logical adventure of LA Knight and Cameron Grimes is for LA Knight to use Grimes as his wingman for a night out on the town. Where do they go, and how successful will Grimes be as a wingman? I'm not that familiar with the Orlando area. Only been there that one time. Maybe there's a Fridays. I don't know if there's still a Fridays anywhere. But imagine this: there's a TGI Fridays. That's LA Knight's favorite place to go grab a drink. And and Grimes predictably is a pretty terrible wingman.
At the Orlando airport, there's a TGI Fridays.
Perfect.
And there's also there's one on International Drive.
Don't know where that's at.
It's in Orlando.
Well, I gathered that.
Why would you know where it's at? You're not from Orlando, dude.
I'm not. I've only been there once.
Yeah. Let's see here. Blake Whitehouse. This pertains to our earlier story with the CDC guidelines saying to wear masks and social distance again. Do you think we'll be back in the Thunderdome era soon? Nah, man, they'll run everything in. There was some article on CNN today about one of the states having a pretty, because everybody's vaccinated, they're doing pretty good there. So they'll just run some other venue where they can have people.
Yeah, and then, people are masked up. That helps somewhat. If they actually enforce mask mandates in arenas.
Vermont. They'll run out of Vermont. Apparently they've been doing pretty good with all that stuff. Yeah.
All right. Night by night, what NXT superstar would you ask to join you for a chill Saturday morning of perusing local garage sales?
Oh, man. When's the last time you did that? I love doing that.
That's never really been my thing.
May I ask why?
I mean, I already got too much stuff.
Right, you need to have a garage sale.
Yeah.
Not
go peruse them.
Yeah. I love garage sales. I haven't been perusing in a long time, but I always get excited when I walk by one and look at all the shit that I don't want or need or have any use for or smells weird. But still, it's very exciting. Baron Corbin,
NXT, gotta be an NXT superstar.
Not former NXT superstar. It would be Cameron Grimes.
I got it. It's Kyle O'Reilly. He's looking for new T-shirts to add to his collection.
Yeah. That's good.
White Brownie. Depending on if Io gets called up at Takeover, do you see both Io and Zoe retaining or dropping the titles? They'll hold on to them. I don't think Io's getting called up anytime soon. If she was going to be called up, they probably wouldn't have put the tag titles on her.
Yeah, I feel like this whole like me thing is going to be related to winning tag titles, like trusting and winning me is going to be. Let's see here. Anthony R. Should WWE main event start advertising and keep introducing more NXT talent? Should this be the bridge from NXT to the main roster that can display talent for both shows? Unless they stop making it like a 75% recap show, no.
Yeah,
I mean,
no one watches main event, so
if they want to rebrand it as something that's like cool to watch, there's that possibility, I guess. But like, they need to do a lot more than just have a couple of cool Ricochet matches to make that a watchable show.
Yep. Much less a must-watch show.
Right, yeah.
Dan Daniels III fantasy book the rest of Jericho's labor. So starts off with spears in a chair. Going right to Nick Gage with the second labor is pretty huge.
Yeah, that's big time.
So let's see. Assuming there's a labor per week. We pull up the date here. So then we'd have the final labor would be on the 18th of August, assuming it's a weekly thing, which is about 2.5 weeks before All Out.
Can one of the labors be at that Elk Grove show that you, me, and Dope were thinking about going to? In the middle.
I don't know why it would be, but I suppose it could.
Beer included with your ticket. And then you get on, and then you look at the address, and it's just like an empty field.
Just a field. Just a field.
We need to check that out one day.
So is there... You have Gage as a second labor, which I feel like, unless they're really going to up the stakes with the 3 final labors.
How do you up those stakes?
Well, it's got to be against like 2 people instead of just 1.
It's against, what were their names? Drew Taylor and Alex Colon. Was that his name?
Yeah. The two
deathmatch guys.
Yeah.
In GCW. So that's the next one.
Okay, well, Jericho. See, I don't know how. Like GCW, they're probably cool with Gage doing the job to Jericho in like a hard fought match, but I don't know if they're gonna be like
they'll do it.
What now? Next is gonna be 4-4-0. All 4 of those guys or 5 of those guys taking on Jericho the 4th week, and all 5 of them losing.
Yeah, it's the 4th labor. It's the 4th labor.
And it is the 5th one. Brett Lauderdale himself going out there and trying to fight for the honor of GCW.
The 5th one is an FMWE match.
Oh my gosh, you got a need out there.
It's him versus all of 4-4-0. That's good. Atticus Kogar versus Chris Jericho. Oh man, that's funny. The 4th labor is 4-4-0. Let's see here. Moses opposes. Do you think Dexter ends up joining the Way? I can't spoil that because I've seen what happens, so I'm not going to talk about that. I can't talk about it if I didn't know about the spoiler.
Shane's birthday tweet: Who would you have Bivens manage on Raw or SmackDown?
Oh man. It'd be a disaster from the start, but how would you not have him manage Riddle and Orton as the tag team champions? That'd be amazing. That'd be great.
Imagine if he expanded Diamond Mine, the main roster, and bought out Alpha Academy.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. I like that. Yeah. Alex Foster, this is a great question. Since Regal didn't read any of the fine print in the contracts, that dude just was putting his autograph on everything.
Yeah.
What legal loopholes or benefits do you think Samoa Joe could have added? Did he have a writer in that contract?
Yeah,
only green M&Ms, Regal.
Could have been a no DQ thing. I started rewatching Succession last night.
Awesome.
In anticipation of the 3rd season coming up this fall.
I can't wait.
And there was that first or second episode where Logan Roy goes up to Kendall, here, sign this. I need you to sign this. It's nothing. It's just about the trust. Not a huge deal.
Oh, man. Yeah.
He signs it.
Yeah. Man. Because my dad told me to. Such a good show. Roman, when you laugh, can it be in a normal fucking volume? You're not a fucking hyena.
DKC returns, says I'll be repping Fun Wrestling. Awesome. Tonight at the AEW show. Also taking the girlfriend who barely gets wrestling. I'm curious to see if AEW appeals at all to her.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Let's see here. Sleazy Mo. If Walter all of a sudden got really jacked and lean like Pete Dunne, would that make him more or less intimidating? It'd be more. A jacked Walter is terrifying. Well,
here's the thing. If it's because Pete Dunne, I feel like, isn't necessarily any more jacked than he used to be. He's more cut.
Yeah,
he's cut. Like Marcel Bartel, I don't think he's necessarily more jacked. He's cut.
He's cut.
Now, if Walter got jacked, yes. Sorry, jacked and cut, yes, scary. But if he just got cut, leaned up a bit, I don't know.
I agree with that. Yeah. What if he showed up? He looked like fucking Ryback. That's terrifying, right?
Well, here's the thing. It'd be terrifying so long as he could still perform like Walter could perform. That's the thing.
As long
as
he
shows up all jacked and like moves at half the pace we're used to seeing. Like, okay, well, yeah, he's slow now. Not a huge deal.
Yeah. As long as he does the powerbomb balancing pin combo.
Yeah, puts all the body weight on the cover. Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah.
Maggie here says, Larson, if you have vintage band posters, I'll purchase. Lol. I actually have a couple. I have like an old Pearl Jam poster and an old Radiohead one in my garage.
Nice.
I think I might have a Jeff Tweedy one too.
Put them up on that wall you got there, man.
It's my bedroom, man. I'm not going to put that stuff in here.
Why not? Take her to a nice steak meal, dude. Butter up a little bit and then get some posters on your wall.
Yeah.
You got to play the game.
Fear and Loathing, besides checking out garage sales, what would you do on a Saturday afternoon hanging out with the Wade Barrett variant Duke Hudson? Steve, I'll give the floor to you to answer this question.
Oh, wait, if I'm doing what now? If I'm hanging out with Duke Hudson?
If you're checking out garage sales and spending a quiet afternoon, Saturday afternoon with Duke Hudson.
Say, hey, Duke, you want to go in my backyard and tan? Here's some tanning oil, man. Rub me down. I'm really looking to get these inner thighs tanned there, Duke.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. Yeah. I'd take him to Brookfields.
There you go.
To a nice restaurant like Brookfields.
To a nice restaurant like Brookfields.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Anyways, that's going to do it for us. Twitch chat, stick around. Till next time. Yeah, we got our AEW thing tonight, so come hang out. Watch me win via tie here. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, talk to you later.
Goodbye.